So it's been a little over 2 months since my last 7 Days to Die news video was released, and you think in that time we'd have lots of news to talk about and catch up on. Which we do, but sadly it isn't all entirely good news unfortunately. Today I'm going to be going over all the latest 7 Days to Die news that you need to know, including the newest 7 Days Blood Moon's pre-release footage, the seemingly AI generated concept art for some of the new enemies coming in the Storm's Brewing update, version 1.4 being released that fixed apparently some major bugs, and last but not least, the both good and of course bad news regarding the next big update coming to the game and everything that you can expect to see within it. So sit back, relax, and let's just jump straight into the news. So starting our news off, we got our latest look at the new 7 Days to Die spin-off game called 7 Days Blood Moons with some new pre-release footage which I'll be showing now. The footage was shared during demo nights, which as I mentioned in my previous 7 Days to Die news video, the Pimps were actually attending. As a very short recap, demo nights is a yearly community event that takes place in Quebec, which allows game developers from Quebec to showcase their work in progress games to the development community. Each year, 15 plus selected studios get 5 minutes to show live gameplay of their unreleased games. Some of the games come from very well known AAA studios and others come from just indie projects. And although the Pimps aren't based in Quebec, they're actually based in Texas, the studio that they've hired to create Blood Moons is actually from Quebec. So yeah, the Pimps shared 5 minutes worth of pre-release gameplay, and honestly the majority of people who've seen it weren't that impressed. The comment section on the Blood Moons YouTube channel where this gameplay was actually uploaded really made this clear, with some viewers saying the following: why the game looks so laggy? I have some ideas for the name of this video. Exclusive stutter video, exclusive SPS drop video, exclusive porn funky soundtrack video, and last but not least, exclusive asset flip video. You're welcome. I don't want to sound like a hater, but I do not like the Borderlands art style, especially for your own arms during melee. So distracting. Also, it's not fun to play when it's so jittery. This is especially not doable for PvP games. Don't worry, it will get the release version alpha still in 10 years. Looks like this needs to bake a while longer still. Wow, nice to see that you recycled some garbage graphics from Alpha 1. Is this supposed to be nostalgia, or are you competing with Borderlands for worst graphics of 2009? This could have been a secondary game mode on 7 Days to Die, which still isn't finished after 10 plus years of early access. Diverting some of the devs over to this was a blatant cash grab. Now just to clarify something that was said in that final comment, the Pimps themselves aren't diverting any of their developers from 7 Days to Die to work on 7 Days Blood Moons. This is a misconception that I think many people are holding over or against TFP, and it's actually gotten to the point where TFP themselves responded to people saying it with the following statement: for those commenting on our new 7 Days Blood Moons game, you should know that the game is published by TFP and developed by Elogika Studios. Is that how it's meant to be pronounced? I'm sorry, I literally don't know. And has not impacted our progress on 7 Days to Die updates. An overwhelming majority of TFP's team is exclusively dedicated to working on 7 Days, and only a small fraction of our team are assisting on other projects. So it is nice to have TFP clarify that their resources aren't being split between developing 7 Days to Die and 7 Days Blood Moons. I have personally seen a bunch of people online criticizing the new spin-off game, mainly just because they think it's part of the reason why development for 7 Days to Die has been so slow. So yeah, I am glad that they clarified that. Now when it comes down to 7 Days Blood Moon's gameplay and my thoughts on it, I personally don't really mind the cel shaded art style, but that's most likely because I'm actually a massive Borderlands fan and it's one of my favorite game series of all time, so it doesn't really bother me. Outside of the art style though, I really do feel like this game is going to perform very poorly, as even in this footage, which yes is pre-release footage, is still running incredibly badly. Like, I'm not sure if I'm the only person who can tell this is happening, but the person who is obviously capturing this gameplay or who is playing for this footage, you can see is clearly trying their best not to move very quickly, because if they do, it's going to make the game look even worse. So yeah, I don't really feel like this game will be that good in terms of obviously quality and performance, but also as well in terms of replayability. And if it is still performing this badly when it is actually officially publicly released, I don't think many people within the 7 Days to Die community will give it the benefit of the doubt. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on the footage. Do you think it looks good? Do you think it looks bad? And I guess more importantly for the Pimps, do you think you'll actually pick up this game and buy it when it does come out? Now moving on, we've got some new concept art and photos that were shared for 2 of the new enemies that we'll be seeing in the Storm's Brewing update. The first is the latest to be shared, which is called the Frost Claw, and quite clearly will be a new enemy that spawns in the snow biome. Now honestly, if you ask me, this thing does not look like that much of a zombie, but instead looks more like a fucking Bigfoot if you're being honest. But nonetheless, it will surely be a terrifying thing to bump into at night in the snow biome. Next up, we have the Desert Plague Spitter, and this thing looks straight up like a mummy, and I absolutely love it. We've actually had multiple concept images shared of this one specific zombie as it's been developed more and more, and as some people have pointed out, the original first version that the Pimps shared shared when they first announced this new enemy was coming to the game looked like it had been generated by AI. Now, I'm no expert when it comes to AI and how to tell if something has actually been made using it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts if you think this was AI generated or not, because from what I can see online, a lot of people think it was, and there is occasionally some people that don't think it was at all. Also, as a little bit of a note, we still don't know all that much about this zombie, but with its name being the Desert Plague Spitter, it's likely that it's a new zombie exclusive to the desert biome. And that takes us to something interesting to note about these new zombies, and that is that they are biome specific. Now, this was noticed and mentioned by a Twitter user called Reaper Operator, who asked the Fun Pimps the following question: are we going to get biometric specific zombie for each biome? To which TFP responded simply saying, that's the idea. So yeah, I'm quite excited to see what other unique zombies or new enemies we'll be seeing in the other biomes, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this idea as well. But moving on to our next bit of 7 Days to Die news, we've got the recent release of version 1.4 stable. Now, this was a small update as it was only to fix a few bugs that had been causing the community some stress. So jumping over to the 7 Days to Die website where the post was actually made regarding this update, it says the following: hello survivors, after a smooth round of public experimental testing, we are pleased to announce the stable release of V1.4B8. While not delivering the new features, enemies, and action-packed POIs of the upcoming V2.0 release, this important bug fix build addresses a series of issues, including some that were preventing quest completions at higher tier POIs, looking at you Grover High. In preparation of the deprecation of the Twitch sub-pub architecture, we have switched over to using event sub for Twitch integration for a seamless transition. The dynamic music system also got a fix for some audio clips looping or cutting out, and server operators can rest a little easier knowing that a dupe exploit involving vending machines has been resolved, which should help keep server economies from imploding. Check out the changelog for the rest and stay tuned for announcements regarding the V2.0 developer streams, coming soon to a screen near you. TFP wishes you a great weekend. Then scrolling down, we've got the patch notes. Starting first with things changed. Migrate Twitch integration to the event sub API to prepare for upcoming deprecation of pub sub architecture. Then we've got everything that was fixed. Issues with DMS music cutting out and looping prematurely. Twitch shared chat fires chat commands on all streams. Bug report button in the options general menu should be hidden on Mac and Linux. Server/MP client vending machine dupe with medium plus ping. Sleeper volume would not be marked clear if all enemies killed before min script ended. Sleeper volume min script will fail to spawn zombies if group name is wrong, so quests may not be completable. And finally, sleeper volume min script triggers don't work if player is outside the POI bounds. So yeah, that was everything that was changed or fixed in version 1.4. And that takes us to our last bit of 7 Days to Die news, which is the status update on version 2.0, or as it's otherwise known, the Storms Brewing update. Now, before we get into this topic fully, I want to give you a very short but important recap for anyone who hasn't been staying up to date with all the latest 7 Days to Die news. Since version 1.0 was released on both PC and consoles back in July of last year, many players have been waiting for the next major 7 Days to Die update called version 2.0 or Storms Brewing. Originally, the roadmap that Fun Pimps shared for the future of the game showed that Storms Brewing would be released during the last quarter of 2024, and would bring not only a new weather system and overhaul to biome progression, but also a wardrobe system, DLC outfits, and subjectively the most hyped addition, which was Crossplay. However, on December 7th, the Fun Pimps announced in their winter patch article that, sadly, our earlier estimates for the timing of the Storms Brewing update were optimistic. The update is going great, but we expect it to land late Q1 2025. Although it is later than anticipated, the 1.2 features from it will come sooner. So although it was sad news to hear that the update had been delayed, many were still thankful that the winter patch did bring crossplay to the game, along with random world generation for console players and some major optimizations to allow the game to run a little bit smoother. So most players agreed that they didn't mind waiting a few extra months for Storms Brewing, and that brings us to last month. With the Fun Pimps saying they expected to release the update at the late end of the first quarter of 2025, many players were waiting patiently to hear any news about the official release date. And then on the 5th of March, we finally got a status update on Storms Brewing saying the following: hey survivors, we have been very busy working on the Storms Brewing V2.0 update and thought we should share its status. Although it has taken significantly longer than anticipated, the build is jam-packed with a ton of fantastic new content, new challenges, progression updates, optimizations, and a whole lot more. We are aiming for an April 15th Steam experimental release and a stable release on all platforms in early May if all goes as planned. Now, after that statement, many were, in my opinion, rightfully pissed off. The update was originally supposed to release last year, then it got delayed for the first time by up to 4 extra months until the late end of the first quarter of 2025. Then with this statement, we got the second delay by another at least 2 months, essentially bringing the total time this update had been delayed up to 6 months. Now, with all of that being said, I wish I could sit here or stand here and tell y'all that yesterday, April 15th, we got an experimental release for the Storms Brewing update. But see, if I did that, I'd be lying through my teeth, because we unfortunately did not. Instead, a couple of days ago, we got another status update for Storms Brewing saying the following: hey survivors, the Storms Brewing V2.0 update we targeted for an April 15th Steam experimental release has been delayed by several weeks. But the good news is, more new enemies as well as the new dynamic severe storm system will make it into the update. Read on for more information. So yeah, now this update has been delayed again for now what is the third time, and what's even worse is that we don't even have an actual official deadline anymore, which of course means that we could be waiting just maybe a couple of weeks longer and then we'll get the update, or maybe we could be waiting until June or July, because who knows at this point. Now on top of this, to make things worse, a lot of people have started to actually point out the fundamental big problem here, which is the fact that the other updates that were planned, such as a new threat or the road ahead update, are both originally supposed to be coming out this year. Like literally a new threat, which was the next update that was going to be bringing bandits to the game, was originally planned to be coming out in the second quarter of this year, meaning essentially anytime now. And with TFP still not even having Storms Brewing finished 6 months late, it's likely going to heavily affect the other updates, which absolutely just sucks. So yeah, this news is a huge bummer unfortunately, but it is exactly what is happening at the moment and you guys need to know what's going on. I would really love to hear your thoughts on this. Are you disappointed with TFP and disappointed that the update has been delayed again? Are you not bothered? Do you think there is any chance that TFP will manage to get another update out after this update by the end of this year? Feel free to let me know in the comment section and rant away guys, because at this point I can't defend TFP at all for the delays on this freaking update. Now, let's have a breath. Let's not end on a bummer note. Let's go over the huge list of new features that are allegedly coming in the new update, of course, Storms Brewing. Of course, when it eventually comes out. So starting first, we've got biome progression, elemental survival. Prepare to face the elements like never before. Conquer those tough biomes in manageable chunks, unlock permanent survival in the harshest environments, and craft temporary buffs to push your limits. This is survival redefined. Then we've got some key points regarding it, which is stuff like progress through each biome with increasing threat levels and challenges, smoke, heat, cold, and radiation damage remedies and survival, craft consumables to increase your temporary biome elemental resistance, complete challenges to unlock permanent biome elemental hazard immunity, progressive biome maximum loot caps to encourage exploration, game options will be available for custom and classic playstyles, new hub and player elemental VFX and sound effects. Several new biome zombies are coming to 2.0, including the new Desert Plague Spitter and the Snow Frost Claw with completely unique behaviors to the game. Then next we've got dynamic severe storms. On top of new biome elemental survival, we have added a new dynamic severe storm system. Dynamic severe storms force players to take or build shelters. Update 2.0 will feature a unique storm type per biome. Rain and light snow still exist but are not hazardous. Then we've got perk updates and rebalances. We've added a brand new general tab, unlocking a whole new level of customization. Plus we filled in those empty slots in the attributes list with exciting new perks. All attributes have 10 perks with new and improved perks. Each perk has 5 levels. New mastery perk set for each attribute. Move some perks to a new general tab without attribute requirements. Then they also mention a new book series coming called Sledgehammer Saga. We've added a new book series for the Sledgehammer weapon class. Then next we've got new higher game stage zombies. Get ready for a whole new level of zombie mayhem. Similar to the current green radiated zombies, we have added a new higher game stage charged blue and infernal orange zombie archetype groups with new behaviors coming. These new archetypes will intensify the later game experience. Then we've got trees and foliage update. A majority of the trees have been optimized to run on the same speed tree shader for a performance boost and reduced draw calls on many. The burnt and wasteland trees have been redone with a greatly improved look. We've added a new sub-biome foliage system which allows for clearings and thicker foliage forests, with lower growing plants on their perimeter for a much more believable look without sacrificing performance. Now to detour from this for just a very quick second regarding this actually trees and foliage section, we've actually had a couple of photos of the new trees released by TFP that I'll have on screen right now, and honestly I don't notice all that much of a difference from the old trees to the new trees, but I guess there is a difference. Let me know if you can tell. Then we've got crawl out zombies. We have added functionality to allow zombies to spawn and crawl out of smaller 1 meter spaces and crawl under tighter areas. We've improved the tools for spawning and respawning enemies and reworked many of the larger POIs to take full advantage, maintaining the challenge while improving the performance. Then we've got Navezgane update. Navezgane has gotten a makeover to work seamlessly with the new biome progression elemental system. Biome boundaries and trader POI positions updated to improve travel time and flow to and from large POI townships. Next we've got POIs. The world is expanding. We're aiming for a whopping 50 new points of interest, adding even more depth and variety to your world. We've added a greater variety of POIs for wilderness. We've added more remnants for performance. We've also updated some of our more demanding POIs to perform better. Those sneaky zombies are now using crawlouts to surprise you. Watch out. Now before we move on to the next thing, we actually have a couple of photos here of some of the new POIs, including a beautiful shopping area, a construction site, and even of course beyond that, a downed satellite, which honestly looks just incredibly damn cool, and I can't wait to find these things when I'm wandering around the world. I'm not sure about everybody else, but I absolutely adore environmental storytelling, so things like this, just a downed satellite in the middle of the world or the middle of nowhere, it just is such an awesome little thing to add even more depth to the world. But getting back to the list, we've got audio change changes. We've added meaningful individual footsteps, making the world feel more alive and immersive than ever. Zombie audio for new biome zombies. Then we've got clothing cosmetic options, Twitch drops, and DLC. Wear what you want for protection, but choose how you cosmetically look with new outfits. We will be adding some new cosmetic DLC options and Twitch drops to 2.0. Get ready to unlock awesome new content and show off your unique style. Then we've got random gen improvements. Wilderness spawning has been improved, allowing a lot more wilderness POIs to spawn, and their spawn locations have better random positioning. Wilderness road placement has been improved. Then we've got new quest marker system. We've added a new quest marker that displays a custom quest flag type per quest. Now I'm not 100% sure, but I'm presuming this custom quest flag type thing is actually something that we actually talked about a little while ago. This was in a previous video, but if you guys look on the screen right now, these are actually some custom, I guess, flags for different missions. You've got flag quests for buried supplies, you've got one for quest clears, for like, you know, clearing houses or POIs, and one for a defense quest, excuse me. There's also a fetch quest one, there's an infested quest, you know, in general, of course, and restore power quest one. They all look really cool, but they've just been in the files for 7 Days to Die for quite a little while, essentially just doing nothing. So if this is actually what these are getting used for, then it's nice to see them actually getting some sort of use. Then moving on, we've got spawn near friend. Starting a new save, choose a friend to spawn near for ultimate teamwork. We've added a handy button to go back to the main menu before joining a game, no more getting stuck. And finally, crossplay on dedicated server. We will not know officially if consoles can play on dedicated servers until passing cert on each platform, fingers crossed. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is everything 7 Days to Die news related that has happened or been shared in the past 2 months. I really hope that you went to enjoy this video and found the information I shared useful or insightful. Of course, it does suck that Storm's Brewing has been delayed, but eventually it will come out, and all these features I am genuinely quite excited for. I just really hope it will have been worth the wait once it eventually does get released. But yeah, that is the end of this video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did go to enjoy it, please share it with your friends, drop a like, and let me know your thoughts on all the news I covered today. Also, be sure to subscribe and turn the notification bells to be notified for when I release any other 7 Days to Die news content on the channel. Other than that, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.